left the hospital on the 17th, and Mr. Hardy couldn't see me just before I left and said, what I've done is I made you 2 appointments in 2 weeks' time. Said, 1, see if your clips can come out from your operation, and 2, you can have a scanning urology to see if you can have your catheter out. So, which was good, because I need the dressing change every 3 days. So, and I timed it perfectly because it was Easter and everything's shut. So Dad got me home, or round the parents' house where I stayed for 5 months, and he popped down the walking centre, and then they said, basically said, yeah, come down on Saturday. I think it was the Wednesday I came out, and they said, yeah, bring him down on Saturday, we'll do the dressing, just come down, we'll sort you out. So yeah, they sorted it out. Ooh, that's a good, got the comment, that's a good scar, yeah, whatever. Then 3 days later, I went to my doctor's, said, yeah, how you feeling, whatever. Yeah, changed the dressing, fine. And then got my appointment through, go to outpatients to have my clips out, which I think there was between 18 and 20 clips, so they weren't exactly fun to have out. And Mr. Hardy popped in, says, tell me what we're doing. She says, yeah, well, this scar's doing all right. Yeah. So he said, well, when's your next appointment? I said, well, I've got urology scan in 2 days' time. So he said, oh, yeah, I think you have. So went home, come back 2 days later, urology scan. Now, for those of you that have had a urology scan, you know what I'm talking about, but it's weird because you walk in with your catheter bag and they get you to lie on a table, flat table like that, and then what they say is, right, what we're going to do, we're going to take the end of your catheter bag and reverse fill it. So they get water and they fill your bladder up from the outside. But it says you'll get the urge to want to pee, but you won't be able to pee because we're filling it the wrong way. So then basically what you've got is the scanner for it is like in a C shape, and that curls round you. So your table stays flat like that, and this thing goes round you like that, like a C shape. So fine and dandy. Yep. So I'm lying there, got a nurse holding this drip, all my tackle hanging out and everything, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm mentally in contact with my naughty bits. Don't move, because she was this rather attractive little blonde nurse, and I'm thinking, yeah, don't make a move. So get that done. But what they don't tell you is when they go for the second scan, because they said, right, we need another scan. Well, that's fine. So I thought, yeah, all right, it's going to go round again. It didn't. Well, it did eventually, but what they don't tell you is that the table goes from that to that. It tips you 45 degrees, which is fine when you're ready for it. Didn't tell me. All of a sudden, the table went, tip sideways. I slid down it until my feet at the bottom. The poor nurse was stood there. She didn't realise they were going to do it, and she had to suddenly step forward quickly to move forward with the bag. And then, yeah, oh, yeah, that's fine. So, looked at the scans, says, yeah, give us a couple of minutes to look at the scans. We're going to have a sit down, and go and put your clothes back on and whatever, and which is fun when you're trying to put your pants back on with the catheter bag, because you've got to take the catheter bag apart, slip it everything over, and then put the catheter bag again in. So, sat outside waiting. A couple of minutes later, they said, yeah, go back in the main waiting office. Mr. Hardy's coming down. So I presume he went and had a look at it and said, yep, you can have your catheter bag out. So he said, everything from that, fine. He said, your scans come back. He said, when I saw you in hospital the other week, he said, we've had your results back. He said it was on the verge of turning into cancer so we've got it early. So it says, and everything else is fine. So it said, hopefully I'll see you in 6 to 12 months and we'll get you back in to have it reversed. He said it'll probably be more around the 12-month mark because of the amount of surgery you've had. You know, if it was a quick in and out, I'd have done you in 6 months, but because you've had the 12 months, because it was a 6-hour operation, we'll go towards 12 months. And so, yeah, fine. Says, oh, I'll leave you with the nurse. And he said, no, I'll see you again when I see you. Fine. So this little nurse in there, and she says, right, we'll take you back, we'll take your catheter bag out. I'll take your catheter out. So fine, lying there on a bed, this rather attractive nurse taking your catheter apart. Dad sat down the far end of the bed, and she said, are you ready? Now basically what you've got is, as you probably know, a catheter is a pipe, and there's a balloon on the inside that's, I presume, was inside my bladder, that is inflated with water or whatever it is, and they have to deflate that and they literally take the catheter out. So I'm lying there thinking, yep, whatever. So she said, right, have you seen that poster on the wall? And as I looked at the poster on the wall, she got hold of the catheter and went like that, yanked it out. And I went, oh dear, that smarted a bit. Even my dad winced at the other end of the table. And she said, now, could you have had the catheter in for 2 weeks? Says your bladder sphincter may not be as efficient, shall we say, to for a couple of days until it sorts itself out. So he said, stay near a toilet. And she wasn't joking. Because I walked out of the outpatients, that's it, outpatients. Walked past outpatients, straight into the main hospital, which is literally 200 yards. And Dad says, well, while we're here, we're going to get something to eat. So he presses the button on the lift. I've come through the door, I went, yeah, I'll see you in a minute, I need to wee. And I need to wee now, because I was starting to go. So, jogged in the toilet, blah, 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 blah. Went for a pee, come back out and joined him. And for about 3 or 4 days, I was backwards and forwards to the toilet, not even trusting it. But, you know, as I do this in mid-October of 2020, which is nearly 16 months, 16, 18 months after me up, yep, I have a smaller bladder. But I still get the odd occasional twang from it, you know. Smaller bladder, deal with it. Get on with it. I'm alive. Who cares? Now this is a picture taken on the 6 months, we say, anniversary of my operation. And I just nipped into the loo at work to empty the bag. So I thought, well, I'll take a photo. And as you can see, it is an absolutely cracking scar. But you know, we're now in October 2020 and that scar has virtually disappeared. Still waiting, as I said, to go back in to have the ileostomy reversed, but when that day comes through, we shall see.